recording. All right, so we're going to be doing Game 3. It's going to be on the Dragonshire, and once again, we've got Throwcademy versus the Kappa Wolves. And it looks like Kappa Wolves this time will be in the blue.
Ah, because they like to keep things fresh for us.
Yes. Well, the loser of the last game gets to choose whether they get first pick, first ban, and I think always first pick, first ban is on the side of the blue, at least here in this HeroesHype. That's how it's been. All right, so we're going to set up the next draft.
Whew, what a game.
Whew, I know.
Chat, in the meantime, while we set this up, please do take the opportunity to follow HeroesHype, both here on Twitch by clicking that button that says follow, as well as on Twitter and other places. HeroesHype is a great resource. It doesn't only facilitate this amateur series for people to help the community, it does all sorts of other stuff like reporting on what's happening in the community. They send out a great newsletter that can kind of bring you up to date on everything that's going on in Heroes of the Storm, which I find particularly really helpful in terms of staying abreast of all of the scores and all of the events and things like that. So really, really great people doing great things for the community. Please do take the time to support them.
Yes, do support. And here we go. We're ready for the draft. I'm going to switch over to the draft screen and then send you a link to that.
Awesome.
And there you go. And here we go, man. We're on Dragonshire. This will be Game 3 in this best of 3. So this is it, guys. Whoever wins this game will be going on to our finals, and I believe they will be going on to face Wild Growth. Yes, Wild Growth. Switching over the bracket just slightly.
Wild Growth in the finals. All right, awesome. Well, we're seeing Kappa Wolves with the first ban, and it's going to be Sylvanas. They do not want to deal with pushing from her this game.
Yeah, she can be a lot to deal with on any map, but if that's something that they don't really want to have to deal with, then it's easy just to ban her out, especially if they don't want to have to try to first pick her. And they've seen the push potential from Throwcademy, so it makes sense. Throwcademy once again choosing to ban Jaina. I think that might be all series they've done that.
I wonder if they know someone on Kappa Wolves who they find a particularly great Jaina, or maybe they find her particularly hard to play against. Totally lots of good reasons to ban her, as she is super strong and burst damagey. Kappa Wolves picking up Uther as their support here.
First pick of Uther.
Not a bad one. I mean, we've talked about this. His utility is so high in terms of being able to heal, being able to stun, and also having an element of tankiness that a lot of supports don't have. So he's certainly a strong pick for any team, and someone you can build a lot of awesome strength around.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, he's got, like you said, he's got heals and stuns. And then lately, we've seen a lot of people picking the Divine Shield. So it might be something that they are looking for as far as having a bit more of sustainability within their composition, and it just helps them set up. They know exactly how they want to set up here. But Throwcademy is grabbing Illidan, and will we see the Rhaegar? Illidan to Rhonda, actually.
Ooh, how do we like to see them play together? Pretty well, I think.
A stun on somebody who is trying to run away, and you're going to have Illidan on top of you, jumping all over you, hitting you with his blades.
Yeah, which is never fun. It's never comfortable. And Kappa Wolves is going to have to figure out how to deal with that discomfort. They're going to be looking for something that's going to be countering Illidan. What do you think they're going to find, Gilly?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Zagara here. Zagara is great on this map. She hasn't been banned. And people like to take her versus Illidan as well. Dropping a Hydralisk on him can really ruin an Illidan's day. So that is a distinct possibility here from Kappa Wolves. I think a lot of people have started to figure out how to deal with the Illidan. Now, a lot of people have been liking Jaina because she can burst damage quite a lot, but of course she's banned out here, and that might have been the plan from Throwcademy, is to ban her and then take Illidan. So we will have to see what Kappa Wolves decides to do. They're dipping in their time pool. They're taking their time to try to figure out how they want to effectively deal with this. A stun from Uther can help, but they definitely are going to want some follow-up.
Yeah, I would assume that we might see a Vala out of Kappa Wolf, somebody who can be counted on to do lots of damage, be really useful in a team comp, synergize well with a lot of people. Ooh, but we'll see a Falstad instead. I know you like to see that, Gilly.
Looks like Kappa Wolves likes the Falstad, and I can't argue with it, man. The dwarf is amazing. He rides a bird.
A griffin, I think.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, a griffin.
I don't think that it would like being called a bird.
That's true. Swiftbeak, I believe. Swiftbeak is its name? Swift something. Anyway, Falstad's amazing. I really enjoy the idea behind Falstad for so many reasons. I was talking a little bit about his positioning before. I like how you have to be exact with your positioning, very precise. You can't be so far away that you can't keep the lightning rod on them, but you can't be so close that you're just going to die. And where you generally take gathering power in his build, it's very tense. You're nervous because you don't want to drop those stacks. Those stacks mean everything to you dealing damage, but you can't just be crazy, crazy far back either. And I think that that's a really cool hero a cool mechanic for a hero.
Absolutely. And there's the Vala. Like you said, that feels pretty good. We like to see that your predictions are correct. So really going to have the damage dealing from Vala. Pretty solid team comp for them. We're probably going to see a tank coming out soon, but they have 2 more picks. And now it's Throwcademy's job to figure out how to deal with the picks of Kappa Wolves and not fully tip their hand, as they're going to have that last pick as well.
I do like that. To answer the Illidan, Kappa Wolves have got 2 very high damage dealing range DPS who have escapes. The Vault in Vala and the Barrel Roll from Falstad, as well as the Flight from Falstad, just really helps them stay, get back away from Illidan. And Throwcademy is going to pick up Diablo. Of course, we've talked night and day about the Diablo Tyrande composition, and then, of course, Illidan being able to capitalize on that as well is going to be so good. And then we'll have to see. I'm betting it'll definitely be a support and then another damage dealer. What order Throwcademy will decide to do here, I'm guessing the support next, so maybe they have a damage dealer who can deal with whatever Kappa Wolves decides in the last 2, but they could definitely also just go ahead and secure someone if they're really wanting them.
Yeah, interesting, because they can know with relative certainty that Kappa Wolves is probably not going to be focusing on damage anymore. So they may feel safe not doing that. And Kappa Wolves has yet to pick up their second support if they are going to take a second support. But the same characters that Kappa Wolves would be choosing as a second support probably wouldn't be those that Throwcademy would want as their main healing support. So in general, these 2 teams now don't have to worry too much about being picked out of their heroes unless there's something really, really interesting up one of their sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Throwcademy pick up the Tychus and enjoy playing the Tychus. They won with him last time, and so I would not be surprised to see them grab him once again. And yeah, I mean, Kappa Wolves definitely still need a tank. Most likely we'll see them grab ETC. They seem fine with playing him before. But Throwcademy gonna get Zagara, and I am liking this comp.
Yeah, and a great pick because it makes sure that Kappa Wolves can't. Arthas Pagan! Ah!
They were prepared. Did you see the speed with which they grabbed those 2?
Ooh, and so good because they got them both as last picks, so there's not a whole lot of thought on behalf of Throwcademy in terms of how to deal with them, but they do have one last pick to think about how they want to deal with them. But the thing is, they probably are going to want to have a healer here. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room unless they're willing to be really, really gutsy against this very high damage dealing team.
Man, that is going to be rough. And an Arthas Kerrigan gank squad plus Uther, that is a very distinct possibility here. Plus, they've got map presence from Falstad. He's able to fly in and take shrines. That is a great pick. Of course, also grabbing Rhaegar to secure Throwcademy's composition is great too. I like both of these compositions.
Yeah, I think Rhaegar is one of the only picks that makes really good sense for Throwcademy as this last pick. There's a lot of things Rhaegar can do that's going to help them. Ancestral healing, of course, being huge. The amount of healing that Rhaegar does being huge. But also the fact that he can control battles a little bit with the amount that he can slow. Those kinds of things are going to be really instrumental. So very good pick on Rhaegar. And you're right, these comps both have really cool, interesting things going on. And I'm really stoked to see how they use them.
Oh yeah, I'm really pumped as well. I think Zagara is a great pick basically on any map now. She's kind of the new favorite of everyone, and she's going to be great here when it comes to the sieging on this map, which of course we've talked about is there's a lot of potential there for the sieging, especially in that bottom lane. But I do think it will maybe come down to the fact whether or not Throwcademy can deal with the surprise pick in Arthas Kerrigan.
And how they're going to deal with that, I mean, if you are Throwcademy right now, what conversations are you having with your team to prepare them for dealing with that gank squad?
Well, one thing that's going to really help, vision, and Zagara can provide that. So that's going to really help too. Farsight from Rhaegar also often taken, probably going to be taken here as well to stop from being ganked. Even Tyrande with Owls providing vision. So they do have the tools, the necessary tools to be able to deal with it. But there are going to be squishy early on. Even we've seen a Diablo can be taken out very quickly. And so they're going to have to rely on positioning, staying back, making the right decisions about which shrines to get, and which to give up. That's gonna be key here.
Yeah, Kappa was out of the gate going to be able to deal lots of damage and going to be looking to deal lots of damage out of the gate. So the Academy may be going to be taking a little bit of a conservative stance in the early game. Illidan, of course, can do all sorts of damage and can be very useful for ganking early on as well. But if I were their Academy, I would be playing the patience game, as I think, like you said, Zagara spreading creep all over the map. Tyrande being able to show what's going on in all corners of the map gives them the ability to be a little bit patient and not put themselves in those situations where ganks are going to be easy for the Kappa Wolves.
Righto, and later on in the team fights, their Academy has a lot of potential to be able to sort of wombo combo, as you would say, with the Zagara Maw followed by the Diablo Apocalypse, if that's the route that they choose to go. Sometimes you even see Diablo Lightning Breath on top of the Maw just to keep people from being able to leave. You even have the Maw into the Tyrande stun if you're able to land that timing correctly. It all, of course, relies on time, but then, of course, the synergy from Kappa Wolves, we talked about it before, but Arthas can root, Kerrigan can pull people in, Uther can stun. They can definitely make something happen off of catching somebody out like that.
Yeah, Uther, totally understandable as a really clutch pick now, as their first pick from the Kappa Wolves. Being able to maintain the responsibility of healer while also being able to stun on behalf of the many damage dealers that they have. Being joined by Arthas, who also, like you said, can help with controlling the position of their opponents while also serving as a tank. So the dual purposes of those two heroes are going to come in really handy for the Kappa Wolves.
Yeah, and I really liked the way that they did their pick. They picked up that Uther. That in itself, not a very big tell. I mean, it's a little like, oh, why are you picking up a healer as your first pick? But it could just be, oh, we just really want this healer, right, guys? That's the only reason. Wink, wink, wink. So they pick up the Uther, then they get a couple of standard damage dealers, and they look like they're done, right? Like, they look like they've kind of showed their hand when really they had an idea. With Arthas, Kerrigan, and Uther, a combo that we see quite a bit, but being able to pick up the Uther early on and kind of hide.
Yeah, that really, really cool draft. And I love the snap pick on Arthas Kerrigan as like, aha! There we go! Really, really fun. But great responses too from Throwcademy. I mean, they got what they wanted and needed. I don't think they're in a bad position now.
No, not at all. I mean, they have so much in the Diablo Tyrande, with the Illidan, Zagara, with the Rhaegar as well in that, and then of course Zagara providing vision does a lot of damage. And you're right, I think that both teams have very good picks, and it'll just be up to both to see what they can make happen with what they've got so far.
Yeah, it looks like teams may be having a little bit of trouble getting ready here in the lobby, but oh, looks like they'll be ready now. Awesome. Glad to be going into this game. And again, just want to remind you when we have these few moments that please do take the time to support Heroes Hype. The follow button is shiny and purple and beautiful, and your mouse would look so good on top of it. So try that out right now, see how it feels. I recommend clicking if that feels right for you. But go ahead and do that if you feel so led. We're going to be on Dragonshire. In case you're just joining us and you've never heard of this game before, where have you been? You've been missing the most fun you've ever had in your entire life. But this map is a map of objectives. The top and bottom will have shrines that will spawn. If your team controls both of those shrines, you will have the ability to take the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight, of course, is kind of like a suit that your hero will put on. You'll have all sorts of cool abilities that will help you with pushing, and you will be very, very strong for a limited period of time and before you lose all of the Dragon Knight's health. So we will see which team will be able to utilize that the best as we go into this game.
Right, we are here on the Dragonshire. This is the Heroes Hype Amateur Series in the semifinals. This is the last game of the semifinals as we are game 3 of a best of 3. The winner of this will face Wild Growth in the finals. And let's introduce our team with the Kappa Wolves being in the blue trunks this time with big impact on Vala. Psalm hanging out in the Kerrigan inside the Nexus. Hawkfu on Arthas. Fom on the Falstad, and Akaface playing Uther.
And in the red trunks this time, it's going to be Throwcademy. Seftuko is going to be playing Zagara, Fate on Rhaegar, also other Fate on Diablo. Kazus Requiem will be taking Tyrande, and Luda will be playing a blonde Illidan.
Blonde Illidan, indeed. Looks like right away, Kappa Wolves were trying to make some sort of gank happen. Not quite going to do so. Throwcademy is staying very, very safe here. And we're going to see Vala go up to try to contest with Seftuko on the Zagara a little bit. And I've seen this a little bit in Storm League and in other matches too. Oh, Luda getting frozen after being pulled by Kerrigan. And now we're seeing already the might of this composition. But like I was saying, you see 4 people who move back and forth between mid and bot, trying to just get experience, but also with the possibility of ganking a hero who might be too far out. So Throwcademy is going to have to play really passively here.
Yeah, and that's like what we were talking about right before we got into this game, that Throwcademy is going to be have to be very sure not to put themselves in a situation to get ganked, and be very patient with how they enter this game. They've got to be soaking experience, which they are doing to their best of their ability, but they shouldn't ever be overextending, and Luda seeing that firsthand as the first kill. Now the shrines do spawn. It looks like Big Impact going to be trying to capture this top one and will be able to. And the bottom one also captured by Kappa Wolves, but is being highly contested by both Fates and Luda. They will be able to drive Akaface and Fam off of that shrine and will be able to take it back. Hopefully before Kerrigan channels that Dragon Knight, they will, and Kerrigan gets zapped from above just for good measure.
Just when you thought you had it. This is still being contested, and Throwcademy's got to be a little bit careful here. They've got the top shrine, so they might have just wanted to leave because there comes the pull, followed by stuns and roots from everybody on Kappa Wolves, and there once again will go the Illidan. I mean, they had the top shrine, maybe should have just disengaged a little bit there, but they did decide to go for it, and now once again we see the members of Kappa Wolves trying to get this dragon shrine. They will be stopped as the bottom shrine is once again taken though by Throwcademy.
Yeah, Illidan can do lots of damage, but not so much when he's dead, so it's going to be really important for Throwcademy to protect their heroes. It's been really easy for them, as they see their opponents roaming together, to take advantage of wherever the gank squad is not. So I would recommend they keep doing that, but it looks like the gank squad is a little bit broken up right now, spreading over the map, trying to make sure they grab those shrines. The Kappa Wolves really do want that Dragon Knight right now.
Yeah, the gank squad actually picked up a Zagara kill up on top, and now they might be coming for Fate. There goes the jump and the pull. Haku trying to maybe root him, but Fate being able to avoid it just barely. They will have to move away though, and once again, Psalm is taking this bottom shrine, but Seftuko has just as easily taken the top shrine. Throwcademy is a little bit behind in experience, but they're not giving up here. They're still trying to keep shrines where they can, trying to avoid having a Dragon Knight bearing down on them. But level 7 talents will be soon.
Yeah, Fate showing off something that's really important, which is being aware of your enemy's strengths. Fate running in a zigzag. You know, when you're being shot at, they say you're supposed to run in a zigzag so you're harder to aim at. And that's what Fate did to avoid both of those things that would have pulled him too far back to be saved. Now both Fates are going to grab this bottom shrine. And for the first time, we may see a highlighted red dragon, although I don't know if we're going to see Throwcademy be able to capture it.
Yeah, they've got the gank squad hanging out, actually heading up, and oh, Seftuko's got to get back. He does get away. They were able to call out and see that they were coming. Like I said before, vision is being so important here on the side of Throwcademy. Rhaegar did pick up the far site, and Zagara has been throwing her creep down, though she did pick up Demolitionist as her first talent, so really focusing on pushing more than her creep at this point. But that is just helping them make sure that they know where the team members of Kappa Wolves are.
Yeah, really cool looking Hydralisk there in this skin, by the way. Awesome to check out.
Oh, Fate! Fate is going to die and flip over his enemy's gates. Luda might be next. They're just trying to get through. Heal him, Rhaegar, heal! Oh!
That was beautiful,
Clutch.
Sam. Oh my god.
Clutch pull. And now Seftuko, oh my gosh, has like 0 health, is gonna have to get back. And everyone from Kappa Wolves is ready. They're trying to maybe do the Dragon Knight now. They've got heroes who are just now respawning, trying to get back. Falstad's gonna pick up this top one. But meanwhile, the bottom shrine already is being contested by Throwcademy.
Yeah, and again, we've touched on this a little bit, but there are so many ways to win on this map. So Throwcademy needs to make sure that their opponents do not get a Dragon Knight, but that doesn't necessarily mean they need a Dragon Knight either. They can take other advantages, maybe pushing lanes, maybe grabbing mercenaries, maybe just making sure that their level is high enough that they have an advantage moving into the later game. But they don't seem to be doing any of those things right now, although I'm thinking we will probably see them do something very soon, as they seem to be grouping up and looking for some advantages.
Fate and Kazis both getting caught under fire from Hakfu and Sam. Fate getting very low, is going to be pulled back, going to be the next one to die to the gank squad. Both shrines for now have been picked up for Throwcademy, but I don't think they'll be able to capitalize on that, as they're now 4v5 for another few seconds, and other Fate needs to get away here. He's trying to possibly do so, but no, that's going to be another one that goes down. And these kills are just helping Kappa Wolves catapult themselves to the level 10 talents.
They will be level 10 in just a moment, and then they will be an even stronger gank squad. Seftuko now getting caught out by the gank squad. Kerrigan and Arthas will not let Seftuko get away. And I would have to say, hey Throwcademy, stop being alone. It's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, they want to try to get to 10, get caught up in levels, but of course that leaves you vulnerable when you're laning by yourselves. Oh no, Luda was trying to pick up these sieges silently, quietly, but he's going to be taken out. They still don't have level 10, and they're trying to deal with the Dragon Knight bearing down on him. Now they've got Illidan down for another 10 seconds. This is looking dicey.
Yeah, and just showing what a clutch pocket pick, as you would say, the Kerrigan Arthas gank squad was, because it's proving so unexpected and something that Throwcademy is not dealing with as well as they would hope in this early game.
Right, you are. We're about to have Throwcademy get their heroics. The heroics that were selected for Kappa Wolves were Maelstrom, Hinterland Blast, Divine Shield, Rain of Vengeance, and Summon Syndragosa. So we're really going to be seeing some slows out of Arthas here. But Apocalypse, Metamorphosis, Starfall, Maw, and Ancestral Healing for Throwcademy.
I love the Maelstrom Divine Shield combo. It is so strong, and it's going to be something that Throwcademy is really going to have to figure out how to deal with, because there are not a lot of great ways to do it other than stay out of its way.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're focusing someone down, that's the power of Divine Shield. You throw it on somebody, and then all of a sudden that forces the team to try to focus somebody else for a few seconds, because wasting their time trying to wait for you to come back just is valuable time that you'll be taking damage. All right, so Fate's going to come in. He's throwing Hakfu back. They're going to try they've got a stun on him, but there goes Kerrigan. Illidan is also in here now, but Hinterland Blast is going to erase Illidan from the game, also drop Fate. They did drop a Maw, but it wasn't synergized with the APOC, and Tyrande and Zagara go down. And now it's only the Fate duo left on Rhaegar and Diablo, and I'm guessing that some sort of push will happen here from from our Kappa Wolves. And yeah, they're going to go for top and bottom.
Yeah, and Kerrigan even holding it down in the mid before backing for what looks like health and a little bit of mana. Arthas and Uther heading toward mid. Uther checking out that... Oh, looks like they will go for their siege camp, which will just add some more pushing power.
You nailed it with the Divine Shields Maelstrom combo. That was so important, but the clutch play, of course, was that right where Illidan decided to metamorphosize, the Hinterland Blast was dropped by Falstad, and that just, as soon as he was up, it was like, goodbye.
Yeah, totally. I guess if we're looking at Throwcademy and looking for what they could be doing, I guess that my advice for them has been be very patient, be very conservative, defend. But that's probably going to stop being good advice at this point in the game when they're really going to have to start taking some objectives if they want to not continue to be pushed back into their base with no recourse. So they're going to have to start taking some mercenaries and things to push things out. We have level 14 for Kappa Wolves against level 11 of Throwcademy, and that's not a position they want to be in. They've got to take some advantages soon.
Yeah, there's a whole talent tier of available talents for Kappa Wolves that Throwcademy just doesn't have, and they decided not to try to contest into that. So Kappa Wolves have picked up the next Dragonite and are pushing in toward mid.
Yes, I am just loving how much control the Kappa Wolves are being able to exert just by being able to melt down anyone they find out of position, and even sometimes people being in position and not being able to stand up to their damage. Hawkfu as the Dragon Knight now pushing down the mid lane will take down that fort. Psalm and Big Impact backing Hawkfu up in the Dragon, but it looks like Luda, Kaz's Requiem, and Fate will try to defend here in mid, so the Dragon will make its way top where only Fate as Diablo is defending, and Falstad is going to, almost blast him down before an Ancestral Healing saves Fate, and they all move together behind that last wall.
Yeah, brilliant Ancestral Heal, realizing that there were a lot of people bearing down on Diablo, including the giant laser that is Hinterland Blast. And so just a really clutch heal there. But unfortunately, 4 level difference now with the Throwcademy just now. Almost, there we go, they're level 13. They finally have those level 13 talents, but there is no respite because already Kappa Wolves have their level 16 talents.
Oof. That doesn't bode well for Throwcademy. They're going to look to take this siege camp. Nope, just kidding. You're wrong, Caster. We don't want that because Kappa Wolves are going to take it instead, and we are afraid of the Kappa Wolves with good reason. But if they can get this around, Throwcademy could get a pick here that would be instrumental. The Maw picking up no one.
Rough. Well, with that, that's going to be some sieges for Kappa Wolves. Now, one talent I wanted to note is that Uther picked up Benediction. It's one of his newer talents, and of course, it's one that is often taken, but it's kind of like a reverse rewind. You hit it and then use an ability, and then it automatically basically refreshes its cooldown. So, with this combo, it means you can hit it, stun, and then stun right away again. And so it's just adding to the difficulty that is trying to engage into the Kappa Wolves.
Fam with Falstad coming to join the rest of the Kappa Wolves who are pushing in the bottom lane. Unafraid, it looks like, Kerrigan and Uther are going to go do some other business elsewhere. They're going to grab those bruisers down there in the bottom, trying to keep that unrelenting pressure going on. It looks like they are pinging the siege camp on their side of the map as well. So the Kappa Wolves saying, we know we've got the advantage, we want to keep it. We're going to keep taking map mechanics and mercenaries that are going to be pushing against our enemies, forcing them to be where they know, where we know they're going to be. And as the Dragon Knight is going to spawn in about 24 seconds from now, that's a good thing for the Kappa Wolves because they know that they're going to be able to focus on taking these shrines while their opponents are going to have to focus on shrines and mercenaries and pushes.
Yeah, that's right. They're just making it so difficult for Throwcademy to even leave their base, trying to deal with things with constant siege of mercs, minions, and of course themselves. Now Fate has thrown some back, and that's going to be oh my gosh, Divine Shield, an amazing Divine Shield. Whoa. And Heal Up is going to save her. Luda has jumped in with the Metamorphosis, but instantly is going to go back out. Maw catching Fam only on that Falstad. But a good Howling Blast catches 3 members of Throwcademy. Nobody dead so far in this fight, which is just unbelievable to me. They had that Kerrigan. She was behind the gate. She was down, but a Divine Shield and a quick heal saved the day, and they were able to kill the gate so she could get back out. Wow.
The Queen of Blades may be squishy, but if you protect her well, she can do tons of damage. So really, really lucky for, well, not even lucky, well executed for Kappa Wolves as they now go into a team fight here in mid. Luda getting so low and will go down almost right away. Fate on Rhaegar also going down to Arthas. Causes Requiem being low, not being able to get out of the way. Fate actually getting grabbed by Kerrigan. Uther will help her take him down, and he walks the direction away from his team, perhaps to protect them from the wrath of Kappa Wolves.
Yeah, you know, Throwcademy had a great idea there because it was 5 people versus 4. They knew Falstad was up top and wasn't going to be able to fly down because they had just seen him fly up top to take that shrine. But unfortunately, they had such a level difference, and those level 16 talents are so huge that it just didn't quite work, and Falstad was able to join in just in time to help secure the kills on both Rhaegar and Tyrande.
And now Kappa Wolves is looking toward level 20 while Throwcademy has yet to hit their level 16, so they've really got to step up their experience game or get a really clutch pick in order to kind of take their place back in this game.
I love the decision to take those bruisers there. They knew they had the time to go get the dragon, and they knew that Throwcademy would be assuming that they would be going up to get it too, so they just went up to secure the bruisers, and now those will be pushing while the Dragon Knight and everyone else is as well. So that's going to separate them a little bit as Zagara tries to stop the bruisers, and this is a Dragon Knight bearing down on this mid keep.
Yeah, there are no great options for Throwcademy right now. Wherever they put their attention, they are not putting attention somewhere else. The Bruisers bearing down on them in the top while they have to defend against the Dragon here in the mid lane. Starfall going down, which will give them a little bit of room. And a Maw doing a really great job of capturing some people. Apocalypse going down right after the Maw, which is great. It melts down some health. But even that is not enough to bring down so many of the people on Kappa Wolves. Maelstrom for Kerrigan will do tons of damage to Luda, who will get Ancestral healed before going all the way down, hopping all over them, trying to get at least a kill. And did Psalm go down? Yes. No? Yes. Did bring Psalm down with him, so at least he has that feather in his cap as he goes toward the afterlife. But Hawkfu, aka Face and Big Impact and the Dragon will join fam as they go toward the core. Will Fate be able to push them away? And it looks like they will back off.
Yeah, everyone from Kappa Wolves very low here. The Dragon Knight's almost out. It was already about to be out time-wise and now is very low. So they're going to go ahead and choose the safer path and disengage here. And this gives Throwcademy a little bit of time to try to recover their base. They had hit level 16 talents in the middle of that. So that was the best time if they were going to team fight to try to get back. They were at 16. Kappa Wolves were not quite at 20. They were at 19. So they're able to make something happen there. But you know, the Divine Shield with Maelstrom is just so difficult for this Illidan to try to deal with. He can't jump in on top of Kerrigan when she's dealing that much damage, and then on top of it, he almost had her down, and then the Divine Shield. That's just difficult.
Yeah, I mean, his blades are mighty, but they can clink off that shield all they want, and they're not going to do any damage to her when Uther has her back. So really, really cool. That's one of my favorite combos in the game right now. Very, very strong and working well for Kappa Wolves as they now look to engage again in the bottom lane after taking the mercenaries all over the map.
Oh no, Fate getting a Howling blasted to oblivion, can't even heal himself, and now that's a healer down for 45 seconds for Throwcademy as Kappa Wolves bear down on this keep here, and this could be easily a second keep for Kappa Wolves, and then Throwcademy will only have one left.
Uh-oh, that is not a position they want to be in. Fate again being forward, and that's a great place for Diablo if he has some follow-up and if he can survive, which this time he can't. Zagara getting a great Maw, giving them a moment to think about how they're going to engage. But we see that Maelstrom coming out again, the stun on Luda, and Luda melts before being able to do much damage.
Yeah, and Apocalypse trying to stop everybody, but Fate once again will go down, and a Syndra Gosa will slow Hawkfu, or not Hawkfu, everybody else. Hawkfu staying barely alive, but Seftuko and Kazis and Fate now only the ones left, and this will be game. This will be it. Kappa Wolves are going to move on once again to fight Wild Growth.
Wow, what a great game, and a really good showing of how important the draft can be and kind of the psychology of how you prepare your opponents and how they pick against you. Arthas Kerrigan and especially even Uther Kerrigan showing to be a really strong synergy. And I think you're absolutely right, Gilly, that showing Uther as that first pick as something that doesn't tip you off about the Kerrigan coming, because Uther is fairly widely used, and then picking Kerrigan last was probably a bit of a surprise for Throwcademy. And like you said, Illidan deals lots of damage, but kind of as the sole main damage dealer there on that comp, maybe not prepared to deal with how much damage, how much stun, and how much synergy was coming out of the Kappa Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Throwcademy had a great composition. They had a lot that they could work with just between the idea of Diablo and Tyrande and Zagara and Diablo, and really making their abilities synergize. But I think it all comes down to that Arthas Kerrigan clutch pick.
Absolutely, and as you can see in the stats here post-game, really Illidan is looking at his stats and going, ugh, why? Because they kept him focused down so much that his hero damage is only about 12,000, which we would expect to see much higher as kind of that respected damage dealer on Throwcademy.
Yeah, right. Oh, very difficult there to try to come back there for Throwcademy, but GG's to both teams. We saw some awesome games in that series.
Absolutely.
And this means Kappa Wolves get another shot at Wild Growth. If you remember from last week, they were the 2 contenders in the finals as well. So maybe this will be Kappa Wolves' chance to come back versus Wild Growth, but we'll have to see.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's get right into that next match after a quick break while we set things up.
All right, we'll see you guys soon.